Throughout this week, we will be looking back at some of the BBC website's most read stories of the year and asking what happened after the news moved on. Today, the BBC Southeast Asia correspondent Jonathan Head returns to Mae Sai in northern Thailand, where members of the Wild Boars football team were rescued from a cave in July. For 3 weeks in June and July, the fate of 12 young footballers and their coach, and their sensational rescue, made Hemlan Caves the most reported place on Earth. 5 months later, it is now one of the most visited spots in northern Thailand. Back in July, a massive pumping operation to lower the water levels inside the caves was sucking out millions of liters an hour, water which cascaded down the hill, flooding the surrounding fruit and vegetable fields. One of them was used by Archon Mopoku, an ethnic Atak, one of several hill tribe minorities living in the area, to grow pineapples. But he did not complain. Instead, he abandoned farming for a while, and volunteered, cutting bamboo to help the army carry supplies up to the cave entrance. Today Archwing's pineapple field lies untilled, and next to it, on the unpaved road, climbing up to the caves, he sells oranges from his orchard to tourists. A venture, he says, is making him a lot more money than his pineapples ever did. Before the rescue it was very quiet around here, he said. Only once in a while a few foreigners would come up to explore the caves. But after the rescue there are far more people coming, and hill tribe people like me are doing well. So are the flower sellers calling out to customers at the entrance to the road, the snack vendors grilling park, the souvenir stalls and, in particular, the lottery ticket sellers. A park ranger sits on a plastic chair under a palm thatch canopy, keeping a handwritten list of the visitor numbers. That used to be easy. Typically they would get 10 or 20 a day. Now, it is more than 6,000. Most of them are Thais, coming from all corners of the country to see where the rescue took place. Right now, no other tourist attraction in this region can compete with Famlat, said Damerin Patton, a magazine publisher and TV personality who was visiting. He was traveling in Europe when the story broke in June, he said, and he was struck by how much attention it was getting over there. I never knew about these caves before the rescue, said Vanessa Calvisit. But after all the news about the Wild Boars football team, I had to come and see it for myself. It is not just a curiosity drawing in the crowds. The mountain range above the caves is named after Nanon, a mythical princess, who killed herself over an illicit love affair, and whose sleeping from the mountain is said to resemble. Caves are traditionally viewed as places of great mystical power in Thailand. There has long been a shrine to Nanon next to the cave entrance, where people could make offerings to her spirit. But the seemingly miraculous rescue has enhanced her allure as a bestower of good fortune. Every visitor I saw came clutching flowers, and said a short prayer at the shrine. It is now a lucky place to buy lottery tickets, and the most popular numbers end in 13, the number of boys and their coach, who were trapped in the cave. Now they have another shrine, the 3-meter-high bronze statue of Simon Bunan, the Thai diver who died during the rescue. I watched them position it in front of a nude and still empty museum, built in the once mud-filled car park, from where we had reported the search and rescue effort earlier this year. The boys, and coach Akapo Chantawan, who had helped them endure their 17 days underground by teaching them to meditate, were there as well, only their second visit to the cave since they were brought out. Some of their rescuers had come to Mikko Pasi, a Finnish diver, who helped lay supplies for the final rescue. American George Morris, who runs a climbing school in Shanghai, and was a crucial intermediary between the foreign divers and senior type officials. And Ward Unsworth, the British caver who had spent years exploring farmland, and one of the first on the scene after the boys went missing. It was a moving reunion. 12 boys, looking fit and cheerful, whose lives, against such tremendous odds, were saved. Now, hugging their SWIOU arrests, the Thai government is still very protective of them. They have child welfare officers with them in all their public appearances, and anyone wishing to interview them must go through weeks of rigorous screening by 2 committees. Their families too have been instructed not to speak without official permission. For me it's still quite emotional, Vernon Unsworth told me, as we looked at the no-grave fence, unblocking visitors from entering the cave. Some people think that to get 13 out of 13 out was a bit of a miracle. I think the world outside was expecting a better result, but we never gave up. What the divers did was just an incredible feat of endurance. No one should blame the boys or their coach for going in, he said. They were just very unlucky. It could have been me. Vern had planned to go into the caves the day after. The water inside rose very suddenly, after unusually heavy rainfall that day, trapping the boys on Kojak, and driving them deeper into the caves. Has the experience changed their lives? They are an amazing group, Vern said. They have stayed level-headed. They are being well looked after. I would not call it a normal life. They have been on tour around the world, but they are all back at school. Their head coach Natarath Kanthawon said they were all training hard after school, just as they were before the rescue. They have regained the weight they lost, he said. Although they are still rebuilding their muscle strength, there is plenty of interest from groups keen to help them. We watched a coaching team from Manchester City train them on their hillside football pitch. At least 3 projects to make feature films based on the rescue are underway. The first, named The Cave, has just finished filming. Vern and the other divers hope the cave site and the museum can be used for public education about the geology, flora and fauna in the surrounding area. For the top official in Maesai, District Chief Somsak Kanakam, all the additional income and business opportunities from the mini-tourist boom at the caves are very welcome. In a poor, largely rural part of Thailand, it is worrying, though, about how to keep the momentum going. The area needs better infrastructure to cope with the tide of visitors and the extra traffic, he said. Longer term, he hopes to get outside advice on how to develop other potential tourist attractions in this pleasant green and mountainous area. At some point, all the excitement generated by this extraordinary rescue will start to fade, and with it, perhaps the visitor numbers to Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco, with cords to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlao in the High Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Tepco. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths, the Interior Ministry statement said. A poacher has been ordered to watch the Disney film Bambi repeatedly, after he was convicted of illegally killing hundreds of deer. Missouri hunter David Barry, Jr., must view the film at least once a month during his year-long sentence. He was arrested in August along with 2 family members for killing the deer, taking their heads and leaving their bodies to rot. Prosecutors said it is reportedly one of the biggest poaching cases in Missouri history. On top of the jail sentence, the illegal deer hunting, Judge Robert George ordered Barry Jr. to view the Walt Disney movie Bambi with the first viewing being on or before December 23rd.
2018
And at least one such viewing each month thereafter. During his spell in prison, the 1942 cartoon about woodland creatures shows a hunt to kill the mother of eponymous deer character Bambi. The months-long investigation, spanning several states, led to the arrest of Barry Jr., his father David Barry, Sr., and his brother Kyle Barry, according to a local newspaper, the Springfield News Leader. While the total number of deer taken illegally is unknown, Lawrence County's conservation agent Tandy Barnes said it could be several hundred. Barry Jr. received a year-long sentence in Lawrence County Prison after pleading guilty to illegally taking wildlife. He has also been sentenced to a 120-day term in Barton County Prison for a firearms probation violation, and both he and his father had their hunting privileges revoked for life by the Missouri Conservation Commission. A popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou.